My name is Maya. I am 22 years old. I live in Canada now, but I am not from here. I moved here 1 year ago to study English. I came alone. My family is still back home. I miss them every day. This morning, I woke up early. I looked outside the window. The sky was gray. It was cold. I had to travel to another city for a job interview. It was my first time going there. I was nervous. I did not want to be late. I took a shower, got dressed, and made a cup of tea. I packed my bag. I checked everything. My phone, my ID, and my train ticket. I looked at the time. I had to go. I put on my warm coat and left the apartment. The train station was not far. I walked slowly. My boots made small sounds on the wet ground. The street was quiet. I saw some people waiting at the bus stop. No one looked at me. I looked down and walked faster. When I reached the station, I looked around. There were many people. Some had big bags. Some had coffee. Some were standing in line. The train was coming in 20 minutes. I looked at my phone. My train was number 306. It said Platform 2. I looked for a sign. I saw Platform 1. Then I saw Platform 3. I walked left, then right. I still could not find Platform 2. I felt my heart beat faster. I saw a woman near the coffee shop. She looked kind. She was not busy. I wanted to ask her, but I did not. I looked away and kept walking. I was too afraid. What if she did not understand me? What if I said something wrong? What if she laughed? My English was not bad, but it was not good. I felt small. I felt like a child. Then I saw Platform 2. I felt a little better. I walked to it and waited. I looked at my phone again. My hands were cold. I put them in my coat pockets. I looked at the people around me. No one smiled. No one talked. The train came. I followed the others and got on. I found a seat near the window. I sat down. My bag was on my lap. I looked at the screen inside the train. It showed stop names, but the names changed too fast. I could not read them all. I looked outside. The train started moving. Trees and buildings passed by. I looked at the map on my phone. My stop was Brimley. I had to get off there. I tried to listen to the voice in the train, but it spoke too fast. I only heard part of the words. I wanted to ask someone, "Is Brimley coming soon?" But I said nothing. The man near me was busy on his phone. The woman across from me was reading. I did not want to bother them. I stayed quiet. The train stopped. I looked out. It was not my stop. The train moved again. It stopped again. Still not my stop. I looked at the screen, but I did not see the word Brimley. I looked at the window. I saw snow falling. My hands felt cold again. I took a deep breath. Then the train stopped again. I looked outside. The sign said East View. My eyes grew wide. East View was after Brimley. I missed my stop. I stood up. I got off the train. I was shaking a little. I felt hot and cold at the same time. The wind was strong outside. I held my coat tight. I looked around. The station was small. It was very quiet. I walked to a bench. I sat down. I took out my phone. I opened the map. It did not load. I waited. Still nothing. My phone was slow. The signal was bad. I looked at the train times. The next train was in 25 minutes. I wanted to cry, but I didn't. I just sat there. I felt stupid. I felt like a failure. Why didn't I ask for help? Why didn't I say something? I was angry with myself. I wanted to go home. I wanted to hide. Then I heard a voice. "Are you okay?" It was a woman. She had short brown hair and a blue coat. She looked calm. She looked friendly. I looked up at her and tried to speak. "I missed my stop," I said. My voice was quiet. "Oh no," she said. "Where were you going?" "Brimley," I said. She smiled. "That's just 2 stops back. You're close. Don't worry." I nodded. I looked down again. "Do you want help getting back?" she asked. I waited a second. Then I said, "Yes. Thank you." "The next train comes soon," she said. "You can take it with me. I will show you where to get off." I looked at her. She was kind. She did not laugh. She did not speak too fast. She made me feel calm. I felt something inside me change. Just a little. "Thank you," I said again. My voice was a little louder this time. She sat next to me. We waited for the train. She did not talk much, but she smiled. That was enough. I looked at the snow falling. I felt a little better. After 10 minutes, the train came. We got on together. She sat beside me. She watched the stops. I looked out the window. This time, I was not afraid. I still felt nervous, but I was not alone. 1 stop passed, then another. The train stopped again. "This is Brimley," she said. I smiled. "Thank you so much." "You're welcome," she said. "Have a good day." I got off the train. I walked out of the station. I still had time. The interview was in 1 hour. I took a deep breath. I made it. I was proud of myself. That day, I learned something. It is okay to ask for help. People can be kind. I don't have to be perfect. I just have to try. Before I share the rest of my story, I need to know, where are you listening from? Knowing someone hears me, understands me, gives me strength. I walked out of the train station. The snow was falling slowly. The street was quiet. I looked around. The buildings looked tall. Everything was new to me. I checked the address again on my phone. The place for the interview was not far. It was only a 10-minute walk. I started walking. The ground was wet. My boots made small sounds on the sidewalk. I held my bag tight. My hands were still cold, but I felt a little better now. I thought about the woman from the train. I did not know her name, but I would not forget her face. She helped me when I felt lost. She made me feel safe. Just one kind person changed my whole day. I turned right at the next street. I saw a tall building with a blue sign. That was the place. I checked the time. I was early. I stood near the door and took a deep breath. I was still nervous, but I was here. I did not turn back. That was already a big step for me. I walked inside. The lights were bright. I saw a small waiting area with a few chairs. There was no music, just quiet sounds. I sat on one of the chairs. My heart was beating fast again. I looked around. One man was sitting across from me. He was reading something. I looked down at my phone. 10 minutes passed. Then a woman came. She had short black hair and glasses. She smiled and said, "Are you here for the interview?" I stood up. "Yes," I said. "My name is Maya." "Nice to meet you, Maya," she said. "Come with me." I followed her down a short hallway. My boots made soft sounds on the floor. We entered a small room. There was one table and 2 chairs. I sat down. I held my bag on my lap. She sat across from me. "My name is Erin," she said. "Thank you for coming today." "Thank you," I said. My voice was quiet, but clear. She smiled. "Let's start. Can you tell me something about yourself?" I took a breath. I looked at her eyes. She did not look scary. She looked calm. That helped me speak. "I am from India," I said. "I moved to Canada 1 year ago. I study English. I am looking for part-time work. I want to work and learn more." "Have you worked before?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "In my country, I worked in a small shop. I helped with packing and cleaning." "Good," she said. "This job is at a warehouse. You will help with boxes and some cleaning. It's part-time. 3 days a week." I nodded. "Yes, that is okay for me." She looked at a paper in front of her. Then she asked, "Can you lift boxes? Some are heavy." "Yes," I said. "I can lift them." She smiled again. "Do you speak French?" "No," I said. "Only English." "That's fine," she said. "English is okay for this job." I felt better. Her voice was soft. Her words were not fast. I could understand her. I felt more sure with every question. Then she asked, "Do you have questions for me?" I stopped for a second. I wanted to ask something, but I felt that fear again. What if my question was wrong? What if I said it badly? But this time, I said it anyway. "What time does the work start?" I asked. She smiled. "Good question. Work starts at 9 a.m. You finish at 1 p.m. I nodded. "Thank you." We talked a little more. Then she stood up. I stood too. "Thank you, Maya," she said. "We will call you in 2 days." "Okay. Thank you for your time," I said. She walked me back to the front. I said goodbye and stepped outside. The cold air touched my face. The snow had stopped. The street looked the same, but I felt different now. I walked back toward the train station. My feet were tired, but my heart was light. I did not know if I got the job, but I was proud of myself. I found the place. I spoke English. I asked a question. That was not easy for me, but I did it. At the station, I waited for the train. I sat on a bench. I looked at the people around me. One woman was holding a small child. A man was drinking coffee. I watched them and smiled. They all looked so normal, so calm. Maybe one day I would feel that way too. The train came. I got on. I found a seat by the window again. This time, I was not afraid. I looked at the screen. I watched the stop names slowly. I could read them now. I knew where I was going. At one stop, a young girl came on the train. She looked confused. She stood near the door and looked around. She was holding a map in her hand. She looked at the screen, then at the map again. I watched her for a minute. She looked lost. Just like me this morning. She sat across from me. She looked up and gave a small smile. I smiled back. Then I asked her, "Do you need help?" She looked surprised. "Yes," she said. "I need to go to Westbrook. Is this the right train?" I nodded. "Yes, this train goes to Westbrook. I can tell you when it comes." Her face relaxed. "Thank you," she said. "You're welcome," I said. My voice was calm. We rode the train together for a while. I told her when her stop came. She said thank you again before she got off. I sat back and looked out the window. I was quiet, but inside I felt proud. Today, I helped someone. I spoke first. I used my words. I remembered how it felt to be afraid. Now, I was the one giving help. The train moved forward. So did I. The train moved slowly. I sat near the window and watched the city pass by. I saw people walking. I saw cars and shops. Everything looked busy. but inside, I felt calm. I was tired, but I was okay. This day was not easy, but it was good. I checked my phone. It was almost 4 o'clock. I still had time before dinner. I decided to stop at a small market near my home. I needed eggs, milk, and bread. I wanted to cook something warm. My body felt cold from walking all day. When I got off the train, I walked slowly. The ground was still wet. I passed the park near my street. Some children were playing. They laughed and ran around. Their boots splashed water. A woman sat on a bench and watched them. She smiled. I smiled too. That small moment made me feel better. At the market, I picked up what I needed. I stood in line. The woman at the counter said hello. I said hello back. She asked, "Did you find everything?" "Yes," I said. "Thank you." She smiled. "Cold day, huh?" "Yes," I said again. "Very cold." I paid and left. The wind touched my face again. I pulled my coat tighter. My fingers were cold. I walked fast. I could see my building now. My apartment was on the 3rd floor. When I got home, I turned on the heater. I took off my coat and boots. My feet hurt, but it was a good kind of pain. I made tea and sat at the table. I put my phone down and looked out the window. I started to think about everything that happened today. I thought about the woman who helped me at the station. I thought about the interview. I thought about the young girl on the train. So many small things happened, but they felt big to me. Last year, I could not speak to anyone. I was always afraid. I stayed quiet. I smiled but said nothing. At school, I listened. At home, I watched videos and read simple books. But I did not talk to people. Not really. Today was different. Today I asked questions. I answered questions. I helped someone. I looked people in the eye. I used my voice. I was not perfect. I still made mistakes. But I tried. And I was not afraid. I finished my tea. I cooked dinner. I made rice and eggs with a little soup. I ate slowly. I watched a show on my laptop while I ate. The show was in English. 1 year ago, I needed subtitles. Today, I could understand most of it. After dinner, I cleaned up. I sat on my bed and looked at my phone. No message yet about the job. But that was okay. I was happy I went. That was enough for now. That night, I slept well. I did not wake up many times like before. My body was tired, but my mind was quiet. I felt safe. 2 days later, my phone rang. It was a number I did not know. I answered. "Hello?" I said. "Hi, is this Maya?" "Yes. This is Aaron from the warehouse job. We spoke on Monday." "Yes, hello. I'm calling to say we would like to offer you the job." Can you start next Monday? I was quiet for 1 second. I was surprised. I did not think I would get it, but I did. Yes, I said. Thank you so much. You're welcome, she said. Come at 8:45 on your first day. I'll meet you at the front. Okay. I will be there. We said goodbye. I put down my phone and smiled. My heart felt full. I had a job now. It was part-time, but it was something. I could work. I could meet people. I could learn more. I wanted to call my mother. I wanted to tell her. But it was late in my country. I sent her a message and said, I got the job. I will call you tomorrow. A few minutes later, she replied, I am proud of you. I knew you could do it. That message made me cry. Just a little. Not because I was sad. I was happy. So happy. I missed her voice, but her words were enough. I read her message again and again. The weekend passed slowly. I prepared for work. I washed my clothes. I packed my lunch for the first day. I cleaned my room. I felt ready. On Monday morning, I woke up early. I got dressed and ate a small breakfast. I took the train. I watched every stop carefully. I did not miss it this time. I got off at Brimley and walked to the warehouse. Erin was waiting at the door. She smiled when she saw me. Good morning, Maya. Good morning, I said. She showed me the locker room and the work area. The building was big and clean. I met 2 other workers. Their names were Ben and Sarah. They were kind. They said hello and helped me understand what to do. My job was to check boxes and place them in the right area. Some boxes were light, some were heavy. I took my time and did everything slowly. I did not rush. At lunch, we sat at a table in the break room. Ben talked about movies. Sarah talked about her dog. I listened. Sometimes I spoke. Sometimes I stayed quiet. But I felt part of the group. That was a good feeling. At the end of the day, Erin said, Good work today, Maya. See you Wednesday. Thank you, I said. See you then. I walked back to the station. I was tired, but I was smiling. My hands were cold again, but I didn't mind. I was proud. In the evening, I called my mother. I told her everything. She listened. She asked many questions. I laughed. She laughed. That phone call felt like home. Over the next few weeks, I worked 3 days a week. I learned names. I learned new words. I learned how to speak without fear. Not every day was easy. Some days were hard. But I kept going. One day after work, Sarah said, Your English is getting better. I smiled. Thank you. I'm trying. You're doing great, she said. That small sentence meant a lot to me. I didn't say much after that. But inside, I felt happy. I felt strong. One Saturday morning, I went back to the same train station. I stood near the map on the wall. I looked around. Everything looked easy now. It was not scary anymore. I saw a young woman holding her phone. She looked confused. She was trying to find the right platform. I walked over to her. "Do you need help?" I asked. She looked surprised. "Yes," she said. "I don't know where to go." I smiled. "Let me help you." We walked together. I showed her the right sign. She said thank you many times. I said, "It's okay." "I was like you before." She looked at me. "Really?" "Yes," I said. "You're doing great." She smiled. I smiled back. Then we both went to our trains. That moment stayed in my heart. I knew how she felt. I understood her fear, but I also knew she could be okay, just like I was. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and share. More emotional and inspiring stories are coming soon.